Hello, my Biblio darlings, and welcome. In case we haven't met, let me introduce myself. My name is Mally, and I'm here to read to you today a story called Look at Me, and it's written by an author by the name of Robert Munsch, who's written so many beautiful stories. But before I read Look at Me, let's remind our bodies that we are safe right here, right now. And how are we going to do that? We're going to do that through two exercises. The first one is a deep breathing exercise where we're going to inhale for 4 counts, hold the breath for 4 counts, then exhale out for 8 counts. And then the next exercise is I'm going to tell you some jokes. The whole purpose of that is when we laugh at jokes, our body automatically relaxes. So with that, let's do the deep breathing exercise. And pretend you have a balloon inside your tummy, and you're going to make it big as you take breaths into your body. So let's start to do the deep breathing. Let's inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let's hold the breath for And now exhale out for 8. Doing that deep breathing exercise is always such a beautiful reminder to be calm in the moment, because there's breath coming into the body, and it reminds the body that the doing the deep breathing lets the body know that I'm safe right here and right now. And that's so important for getting the message into your head and into your body, and connecting the two, that you are safe. And the other way is, and there's many ways of sharing with your body that you are safe, but for right now, for today, the second way that I'm going to do is by telling some knock-knock jokes. Are you ready? And I just have to share that sometimes I understand the knock-knock jokes and sometimes I don't, so you can laugh with me, you can laugh at me. Either is okay, just so you actually start to laugh. So here's the first joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Sasha. Sasha who? Sasha, big hat you're wearing. Sasha big. Oh, that's a big hat you're wearing. Okay. And let's look at the second joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Sherwood. Sherwood who? Sure would like to meet you. Oh, that's a cute one. Okay, and let's read the next one. Knock, knock. Who's there? Soldier. Soldier who? Soldier bike yet? Oh, all right. Those are good. So with that, with the body being relaxed because of deep breaths and the jokes, let's read the story, Look at Me. And in looking at the cover, this is what I see. I see a girl, and she's probably in her teens, and she has blonde hair and blue eyes. She's holding a rose with her right hand, and it looks like she's holding a rose, but what I'm finding interesting is on her, what's this part called? Is it called a forearm? Let's pretend it's called a forearm, because words sometimes leave me. On this part, on her forearm, it looks like there are leaves. And then here it looks like there's a budding flower. And here it looks like there's a flower in bloom. And there's more leaves on here, on the bicep. No, that's the tricep. Okay, and she has a shocked look on her face. And then behind her are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 children whose faces are painted. And in behind, it looks like there's a building of sorts. So let's start with the story. When Madison's grandma came to visit, everyone decided to go for a walk downtown. In front of City Hall, Madison said, Look, I found a ticket for free face painting at the park. Neat, said Madison's grandma, let's go to the park. And in looking at the picture, it looks like there's a young girl by the name of Madison. And she has something in her hand. Well, I shouldn't say young girl. I'd say probably a youth or a young teen. And she has a lady standing beside her with an orangey backpack. And there's people in the background, and it looks like they're protesting. This is interesting. Well, at the park, Madison got in a long, long line. A girl came and said, "Get a scary face like mine." Oh, that's the girl that's standing right beside Madison. Her face does look kind of scary. "No," said Madison. A boy came and said, "Get a tiger face like mine." Oh, and look, that's the boy standing beside Madison. And he's pointing to his face. "No," said Madison. A girl came and said, "Get a butterfly face like mine." That's the girl with a striped sweater. "No," said Madison. Finally, it was Madison's turn. "I want," said Madison, "just on my cheek a small, perfect rose that looks really real." "Really real?" said the face painter. "Really real," said Madison. And the face painter spent a long, long time painting a small, perfect rose that looked really real. And there is the face painter. Let's look at the face painter. She has a purple stripe in her hair, and she has on a painter's apron. It looks like there's some different colored paint splotches on there, and she's holding some paintbrushes and a tube of what looks like pink paint. And it looks like there's a whole bunch of art materials on the table. There's paintbrushes and rollers and probably turpentine at the front and some other color paints. Then in behind, oh, and there's Madison holding a green mirror, and she's looking at her reflection, and she's probably looking at the beautiful pink rose on her cheek. And behind, I didn't notice this, there is a dog, and on the dog's face is painted a cat. I don't know how a dog would feel about that. And then just below the dog is a cat who's laughing. Maybe the cat is laughing at the dog who has a painted cat's face. Oh, I just noticed that the painter, the person that did the face painting, the face painter, has what looks like vines on her forearm. Maybe this is a clue as to what's to come. "That's a nice flower," said Madison's dad. "Now let's go look in some stores." So in this picture, you have Madison's dad looking at Madison, and I guess he saw the flower on her cheek, and he said, "Nice flower." Well, when they went to the hardware store, when her father was looking at drills and saws, Madison whispered, "Daddy, I think my flower is growing." "That's nice. That's nice," said her father. "Daddy," whispered Madison, "look, look, look, please, really, look at me. My flower is growing. There was just one rose, and now there are two." Oh, well, with the picture, it looks like Madison is really concerned about what's happening. But it looks like Madison's dad is looking like he's looking at a big drill. And there's 3 hearts, so it looks like he's really in love with this drill. Like he's thinking of all the things that he could build and design. But getting back to Madison, she's looking at her dad and she's saying, "Dad, there are 2 flowers." Madison's father looked very closely at Madison's face and said, "Why? Why? There really are 2 roses, one on each cheek. But I think it was that way already." "Do you think it was that way already?" And looking at the picture, there's Madison a rose on one cheek and a rose on the other. And her dad is pointing out there are 2 roses. And in looking at this, oh, the person at the hardware store, he's looking really upset because it looks like there's a, pardon me, I'm laughing so hard I'm coughing. It looks like there's a mouse in paint, and the mouse is up all covered in paint and laughing. And look at that. In the background, it looks like there's a metal canister, and it has the picture of bananas on the front. So and then it also looks like there's an animal's hand about to get the banana. I'm wondering if that's a gorilla and if that's a take on Gorilla Glue. Who knows? Well, it looks like Madison has joined her mom at the kitchen store. Well, at the kitchen store, when her mother was looking at pots and pans, and it looks like there is Madison's mom, and she's looking at it. It looks like a food processor that has a orange juice squeezer on it, on the top, and looks red and shiny. And the mom looks like she's so happy with it. Madison said, "Mommy, my flower is growing." "That's nice," said Madison's mother. "Mummy," said Madison, look, please, really look at me. My flower is growing. There was just 1 rose. Now there are 3. Look at the picture. There's 1 on this side, 1 on this side, and it looks like there's 1 here as well. How are the flowers doing that? Madison's mother looked very closely at Madison's face and said, "Why, there are 3 roses. I thought you just asked for 1. "I did ask for 1 rose," said Madison. "Well, I guess that face painter gave you 3, said Madison's mother. Oh, look at Madison. She now has 2 on one side and 1 on the other. Well, at the ice cream shop, Madison said, "Grandma, my flower is growing." "That's nice," said Madison's grandma. "Grandma," said Madison, look, please really look at me. My flower is growing. There was 1 rose and now there are 24. I think a leaf is growing out of my ear. Let's look. Oh, look at all the flowers on Madison. She has 1 on her forehead, 2 on one cheek, 1 on the other. And it does look like there's a leaf growing out of her ear. And there's some on her neck and her shoulders and down one arm and down and on the shoulder and down the arms of the other. Then Madison turned over her arms. 10 roses are going down each arm. While her grandma looked, another grew on the end of each stem. 1 rose was nice, said Madison. 26 is too many. This is serious, said Madison's grandma, and she picked up Madison and ran down the street to the doctor's office. The doctor's office was no help. She said, "I know a lot of people, but not a lot about plants." "Let's try the garden store," said Madison. Oh my, look at the picture of the doctor, and she has plants in her office, but all the plants look dead. Oh, I think the doctor is right. She knows how to help people, but not plants. At the garden store, the man behind the counter said, "Weed poison. Check out our wonderful weed whomper." Madison's grandma and Madison and the gardening person with a shovel thingy in his hand were all looking mortified as the man behind the counter has this machine and he is whomping some weeds. "Ah!" yelled Madison. "No weed whomper." Maybe Madison thought that weed whomper would go on her and kind of go poof on her. "I know," said Madison. "Let's be nice to the rose. I will go home and take a nap with a large flower pot beside my bed, and maybe the rose will go and live in the flower pot. Madison's really smart. Oh, look at her face. She has a leaf that has grown over her nose. She has way more roses than before. Oh, and in the picture, it has the guy that was doing the weed whomping, and he's waving, and there's Madison's grandma giving him the stink eye. She doesn't look happy at all with him, and I think that comes from she thought that he would hurt her granddaughter. When Madison woke up, there was a huge rose bush in the flower pot, and just one perfect rose on her cheek. Madison's grandma took the rose bush home and planted it in her garden, where it stayed until it found a better place to grow. Wow! Look at all the roses beside Madison. So I'm imagining that all of those roses went off of Madison and into the planter. Madison had such a really good idea. Oh, that is so neat. And Madison looks much happier. Oh, look at that. There's a little mouse beside Madison, right beside the rose planter. And Madison has 2 cats on the other side. And Madison also has some stuffed animals. Wow, those are neat. And it looks like she has, in the background, a different stuffed animals. And there's a girl there with a green shirt and pink shorts. And that looks like another character from a Robert Munsch story, but I just forget which one. And this is the last page. You know the store person that wanted to use that weed whomper on Madison? Well, it looks like he is now covered in roses, and he looks really shocked. Wow, that's amazing. That was a really interesting story. Could you imagine asking to have one rose painted on you, and then your whole body gets covered? Well, if that happens, let me know if it helps to have a planter right beside you, and if roses grow there. So that was a really neat story, and I did lots of laughing with that story, which is a great way of helping your body to relax. So with that, let's do a second deep breathing exercise. Do you remember how to do it? You got it. Let's inhale deeply for 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let's hold the breath for Now pretend you're blowing out birthday candles for 8. Oh, what a good reminder. Taking nice deep breaths really helps to center the body. And what else helps? Telling jokes, because it relaxes the body. Knock, knock. Who's there? Stan. Stan who? Stand back, or I'm gonna break down the door. That's great. Get it? Stand back. Stand back, but stand back when you put the words together. Okay. And here's the next one. Knock, knock. Who's there? Stopwatch. Stopwatch who? Stop what you're doing and come pet this cat. And here's the next one. Knock, knock. Who's there? Theodore. Theodore who? Theodore won't open, so I knocked. Get it? Theodore, the door won't open, so I knocked. Anyway, oh, it's been so wonderful spending time with you. And I'm hoping that you've enjoyed yourself and you're watching with your parents or friends or aunties or uncles. And if you've liked what you've seen, click on the subscribe, click on the bell notification. Well, until next time, see you later. Bye.